Okay, hello everybody. Good afternoon. Let me just correct a little bit mic. I hope you can hear me loud and clear. I can see by stats everything should be okay, should be fine. Hi there, my name is Jarek. I'm the Archon CEO. You should know my face, I think. This is the 16th live, I believe. I do have quite a good information today to share with you. Some of the shipping, some of the information about the shipping, some of the other information about the upcoming Kickstarter, as well as the current stuff. So before we move in, let me just check the comments quickly. I do believe we have some comments here. Okay, one of the comments is about the Fields of Eternia, Beyond the Dragon expansion. Yes, the team is working on one more expansion which has not yet been announced. It will be soon. It will be soon, but we need materials to actually announce it. The plan is that those expansions you got them on the GameFound campaign. They're going to be available towards the end of the year. But before that, we have 2 slots for the 2 expansions. So the first expansion is coming, second expansion. So we're not like kind of giving up on this project whatsoever. It's going to be continue. Development will continue, like for the most of the games we make nowadays. Because I know we have dropped some games right in the past. So like Chronicle X was left alone, which I still believe is one of the best games design-wise we've made. And I extremely love the aesthetics of the Chronicle X, and I wish to come back at some point to Chronicle X. Just get it right then. Back then, not much experience. We had not much experience internally. So, yeah, but that's one of the projects we think about in the future. So the question is regarding the Battleground. Will the Faith and Glory cards be available separately? No, we don't plan that. We don't have plans for this one. The simple fact is it will basically create more SKUs and more issues for us than it's actually worth it. So we pack them in the boxes as they are, and at this stage we don't have anything. However, I have some sneaky peeks for the Battleground for the Wave 5. So stay tuned, and I will be able to show you in a sec. Yes, still on the way. Nothing happened. If you go on the Fields of Eternia update, if you click on link, you will be able to see where exactly the ship is. So it's getting here. As soon as we have a stock, it will be released from our warehouse straight away with no delay. Will the DNL5 Kickstarter be run by Kickstarter or on a game? Definitely. Yeah, we don't know. I really don't know. There's a pros and cons about GameFound and about the Kickstarter, right? So if you follow GameFound, they growing quite a lot, and they have extremely good ideas about how to manage from the backer and from backer the creator point of view the campaigns. I like the approach much more than the Kickstarter approach, to be honest. They have developed several tools which you couldn't see in any other crowdfunding platforms. One of them being a split payment. So if you go for something heavy and cost-wise, obviously, pledge, if you like to spend, I don't know, $400, $500, you don't have to spend straight away on during campaign, and then you have like a payment terms. I love this one to the bits. I think this is just like kind of mini revolution in the way how crowdfunding should be running, because think about that one in a different way. I'm backer, right? I gave you, for the projects, let's say I gave you $500 upfront. And if this is like high risk project, or at least there is a few red flags, and you're not 100% convinced, but you still spend that money, you might be losing that money straight away. And another end of the stick is the creator. So the creator needs to actually put a lot of attention to your projects and not like do it Kickstarter and forget about it and then maybe do some updates whatsoever. No, because you receive payments in a small lumps. So this means every update you have to put attention to the project. You have to make sure you keep update, because at some point the backer might say, okay, hold on, I'm not giving you more till you actually give me update. So I really like that idea. Absolutely like that idea. So something which is great on the game front. But we don't know yet. The Kickstarter is also looking what's going on the market. I believe they're realizing that the competition is actually growing. And the Kickstarter, the biggest prawns of the Kickstarter is basically it's everywhere. Everybody knows Kickstarter. So there are some projects we couldn't even run on the game front, like Heroes of Might and Magic couldn't be run because of the campaign itself, and the platform wasn't that well known like a Kickstarter. So yeah, we don't know. I should kill it with one sentence, but I give you all the insight about it. So I've got presentation ready, so we're gonna have to go through slides, and there's lots of things to talk about it. I do have a news about the Wave 5 and when exactly it's gonna be released, so I'm gonna be showing this one just in a second. Yes, Wave 5 in a second. Yeah, Jakub is answering, so Jakub knows what's going on the Enter Dragons update, so you will be informed. And I think we plan some blog about it, so next few weeks you should expect a blog letting you know exactly what is this expansion about and so on. So stay tuned, but it will happen after we ship the Kickstarter game found. There are some books, yes, Shimon, there are some books, but they're working on and fixing it. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. We're getting better at it. I believe so. I mean, some of the stuff we have in the background, and especially for those Larry, it's great. Okay, let me just move to presentation. So definitely a small info about the shipping. So I just came back from production just a few minutes ago. I was on the production. So we have shipped 230, actually 2,350 parcels, not 220. So it's around about 45% of shipping by today, 45% in 1 week. I believe this is our new record. Absolutely. I wasn't expecting this. The mats, there was this question about the mats. We're still waiting for them. They should be with us towards the end of the next week. So once we have them, we will start shipping them out. So next week we're going to be clearing all the things which are not still with the mats, the plain mats, and then we will continue with the plain mats as soon as they receive. I know we're waiting for some packaging on some boxes. Some of the Kickstarters will go a little bit later. Now, not only because we're waiting for the massive packaging boxes to be delivered to us. There is a shortage of them on the market, and we're trying to get them from all of the corners. Yeah, it might be a couple of days only, so nothing major. Still, the project is being shipped 3 months before due date, I believe. 3 months, 2 months, 3 months, something like that. And it's going to be one of the fastest shipped out from our factory. And maybe because we had so much stuff prepared prior to that one, so all the thing was done before. So actually, great stuff. Very happy about it. Yeah, I'll keep you updated about. Right, I'll give you all the info I have. I have several things to share with you. I won't be able to give you the bigger things, which is coming hopefully this year. But yeah, it's definitely going to be extremely excited year. Extremely excited year. Let's check it. What next? Right, so some of the questions I need to answer before we move on. So these are from Discord, our Discord channel. So join it, please, if you have Discord. There's a great community over there, and then always throw in some questions, good questions. Let me clear that. Okay. Right, so first question about the mats. Yes, next week, once we have it, we will start shipping the pledges with mats as well, and obviously we'll provide all the pictures just to show you the quality of the mats. I've been assured they top-notch quality, and we shouldn't be disappointed, and you shouldn't be disappointed. That's the most important. We all know there is only one question that matters: PlayStation, Xbox. Sorry, I'm PC guy. I'm the PC guy. I play on PC. But I own PlayStation as well. Not the 5. I think we used to play quite a lot on PlayStation, and I'm huge Battlefield player, and always I also played some COD games, obviously like Warzone and things like that. But Battlefield was with me from very beginning. Battlefield 2, Bad Company. Maybe you remember this game. It was the first game, and I especially actually purchased PlayStation just to play that game. And then with my wife's cousin's husband, we used to play tons of Battlefield games. Obviously, as I'm from PC gamer, and I used to play many games. Quake 2 was the biggest one. Quake 3. For me, Capture the Flag. We had many tournaments here in Poland. I was part of one of the biggest clan which played quite a lot of Quake 2. I'm still good at FPS. I'm old, but good at FPS. My son Shimon, he knows very well how I like to go on a Battlefield now 2042 and beat everybody. But I'm PC guy. Right. Let's have a look here. Well, so next question was, will there be plan forwards in the crowdfunding? In new campaign, we do have some plans, enemies you may face. So as you can see, here is the concept. It will be turned in a miniature. So yes, we will have something for you as well. Yes, there will be a tool. 1 second. Are you going to change your shipping rates for this? This is very good questions. Very good question. Yesterday we had a chat about this. Martin came to me and he said that Martin is our salesman. He also deals now with the online store. We had a chat about it, and he promised to me that next month we are going to be looking at doing several type maybe free shipping deals. So if you order some of the components more to some bracket, you will get free shipping. So we're looking into this one. In fact, it was on our board for the last couple of months. We haven't been paying too much attention to the online store, our own online store, because we are focusing mainly on a retail store, so your local gaming stores. This is what is the most important for us at this stage. But we're also going back to this once we have the capacity for it, okay? So stay tuned, it will be adjusted. It will definitely adjust it. The next question was about the NL6. It is how many sets will get those 45 angle. Okay, so I hope I won't disappoint you, but at this stage, just at this stage, we're looking at only the NL6, so the caves. At this stage, right? So it doesn't mean that we won't explore other, possibilities. Just to give you some optional buy if. But it will all depend about tooling capacity and sculpting capacity. If you're going to be able to do that, we will add those things for other like a cottage or cathedral or other sets. Okay, but at this stage only it's locked to the new Kickstarter. Can you turn to the comments on this info? Okay. Yeah. We try to do some sneaky peeks on the Discord. So if you go on Discord, we do those things sometimes, occasionally. Shimon is keep poking me constantly. Do you have something? Do you have something to show? I have this to show. This is Deusler, basically. Did 32 or 28 heroic scale miniatures. So we have the first sprue. Actually, this is the second sprue because the first one was the demo sprue, which people getting for free with the pledges of encounters. Yeah, Cthulhu would be cool. We have something, not cool. What? Nintendo Switch is the best one. Michał, Michał used to work with us. He was keep saying constantly whenever I was trying to order some electronics for different department, he was keep saying Nintendo Switch. So whenever I see Nintendo Switch, I think about him. Okay. That's correct. There was a huge one, yes. Right. The bank transfer, I don't quite sure whether any stores allow you to do so. You don't have a credit card, but I think we can pay with debit card, or we don't have a PayPal. One of the reasons why we don't have a PayPal, because the PayPal policy is just crazy. Quick story short is we had a PayPal, everything fine, everything great. At some point, the PayPal sent us email. Oh no! By the way, from that point onwards, we're not going to be transferring 50% of funds, and we're going to be freezing that 50% funds for 30 days onwards. And we just asked the question why, and they said, okay, this is our new policy. And we were like, why? There's no reason to do so. So all the debit cards should work and so on. If you have a bank account, you should have debit card basically. So credit card, I think credit card they're not working. Like a credit card, debit card should work perfectly. The credit card, it depends on the on your provider. Some of them they work, some of them they don't work. Okay, I'll show you what we have more. So wave 5, there was a question about wave 5. Yeah, the battleground wave 5. We are planning to release. We don't plan. It will be released on 22nd of February at Salute UK. Our team is going to be at Salute. Marcin and I. So Marcin the salesman and I will be flying to Gamma in the USA. So if you're going to be visiting Gamma, Gamma is basically a retailer trade show, but I want to be there because there's lots of guys from the industry over there, and on top of that, I just want to see how the market will react to our products. The thing is, we don't have a much presence in the USA, but we want to have that presence in the USA market, and that's one of the reasons. So Salute. It will be our team is going to be at Salute. We have a huge stand there, and the wave number 5 will be released. Let me show you what exactly wave 5 will have. So the gameplay changes. One of the things we've been talking about this one, and we wanted to release at some point was 2 versus 2 player rules, and we've been working on them. Not we, actually, mainly we as a team. There's always we. Jacek was working mainly on that one as well, and he basically created what was required, 2 versus 2 rules. So that would be the first edition. Obviously those things will be available for free, so you don't have to get wave 5 to play 2 versus 2. There's no content, additional paper content just for that. It will be also PDF release, so you don't have to get wave 5. You just download the PDF rules for that one, and you will be able to, up you go, you can play it. And the next one is basically, it will contain 2 boxes releases, one for Motu and one for Evil Warriors, and each of them will have 3 miniatures. Right, I have 2 to show you today. So wave 5 sneaky peek. The first one is the first one, Fisto, and the second one is Webstore. So those 2 things I am able to show you today. The next release also will include several additional gameplay changes. It's not only that, only 2 versus 2, and some additional tiny rules. But stay tuned for the blog. We're gonna be able to post the more information about it soon. So we got Fisto, Webstore, 2 additional. Actually, it's gonna be 6 miniatures, but the other miniatures I won't be able to show you today. I will just keep it for the blog post because they actually very interesting, and you might not expect it. So stay tuned for that one. So that's wave number 5. I know the team is currently working on wave 6. That is miniatures and the content. And post Salute, I will be able to show you the some sneaky peek on wave 6. That's for the battleground. Heroes. What about heroes? Obviously, I will be keep showing you this one constantly because this is how we operate at the moment. So we are here. As I mentioned, 3D asset of the miniatures. At the moment, we have no yellow flags. This means we had what's the name? The manufacturer actually was here. CEO of the company and his managers. They were visiting Poland and came around to our factory. They were very impressed. Told us loads about the miniatures market and loads about how difficult this is to make. Apparently, they were not expecting what we have, showing them, and especially the scale of operation. They were thinking we are just yet another company. We just, buys product from China and sell it, and they were extremely surprised about it. Even they were offering some partnership to establish some factories and things like that. But anyway, we gave them the dates. The dates are our expectations in terms of delivery. So we told them exactly by the dates we want to have everything on the boat. Mihao, who is looking after this project, my business partner, he's extremely focusing on that one, making sure that the assets are done and dusted. What I can tell you right now, that all 3D assets corrected for manufacturing. We have been informed and we have received the invoice for 3D asset correction. This means all the 116 plastic injection elements, this means miniatures, tokens, everything which is plastic for the Heroes 3 is been now fully 3D corrected. It means that, apologies, it means that they're ready to be put into molds. So that is good. That is good. At least we are on time on that one. The rules, the core rules, the team is currently assembling the final PDFs for the rules, for the core rules, obviously. The other team is fully occupied with the playtests. So the playtest is still happening. We have great feedback. Lots of things, lots of tiny changes, improvements. It's shaping up very, very well. I think there's gonna be kind of the projects that there's nothing to be shamed about once it's released. Absolutely nothing in terms of miniatures quality. We even correct the scale. I mean, the next point is scale of the miniatures adjusted. We have changed the some of the scale of the miniatures to make sure when you put them in line, they much better fit to each other. So even all those things, so tiny small details, tiny small details as well in the rules being corrected. And yeah, I'm very happy with the team. At some point you will be able to, I think we're gonna have to make like a full introduction to the team. I think we have to. Mihao Tukan, who is looking after that one, should be on the video as well. At some point I want them to get involved once we more advance in the project. So maybe once we have like a wide sample, or maybe the prototype sample, he will be able to do the unboxing for you or something like that. But that will happen maybe something like in May, June, July, across those dates. Jarek will be running as well playtesting in Ireland. So that is cool stuff. We start in other countries as well. I know playtesting in Germany as well are ongoing. And yeah, right. The question was, any chance you produce maps for Battleground on Neoprene map? At the moment, no. We are looking into this idea. In fact, if you want to make this one, we probably have to manufacture them in-house. So the one thing which we investigating currently for the future projects, this one and the future projects, is to looking at making this one in-house. The one reason why is they're quite heavy to transport from China. And to be honest with you, you can go to many board games manufacturers and they will, provide you with this product. However, they're still making this product somewhere else, and it's very, very difficult to find the source of this, manufacturer in order to get a good cost in the good cost, basically. So yeah. But yes, we're looking into this one, especially for the next projects which we have in mind. We could potentially make this one premium product as well. Only one problem is with packaging. Only one problem is with shipping packaging, because they need to be rolled in terms of packaging. Otherwise, the creases will appear and it's not going to be good. So that's only one downside. So if you look at the normal map, it's that thick and roll much bigger. Okay, but that's one of the reasons why it's premium product and why it costs a little bit more than normally. Okay, let's move on to the next one. That's a good question. Can you get mod to be custom dice with the faction logo on in the 6? I don't know why we haven't. Jakub, please note. Yeah, note this one down. That's for sure. I don't know why we haven't thought about it. I don't know. It's a good idea. It's absolutely a good idea. Maybe because we so focus on miniatures and we just keep forgetting that, hey, there's other things. That is extremely good idea. And Jakub, please note. And why not? With the 6th one or 5th one even, we should be able to. Okay. Cool. Oh yeah, some assets. We have some final assets for Inferno artifacts. Boot of speed. I just want to show you a few last arts we have for approval, which we just got it. So I think for heroes, update wise, it's gonna be extremely boring updates, because we are in a stage when we just have to do manufacturing and it's nothing to show you till we get some materials, which takes about 3-4 months. However, I think we're gonna be able to share with you final rules soon, so it will keep you occupied for some time. You will be able to see the difference between the first version and the final version. There is several good changes, and then those changes coming basically from you, from playtesting and so on. Yeah, we want to make sure the product is fully finished product before we ship. That's the reasons why we're doing so many playtests. And that will be all for the heroes. So if you have any questions about the heroes, I'm happy to answer. There was one question which I don't have it here. The question was about the arts, whether those Inferno arts going to be art book, and I can confirm this one. And yes, the Inferno arts will be. You will find those arts as well in the art book. We haven't started any work on the art book. I believe this is gonna be the last thing to do. Only because the graphical team is so overextended, really, with all the work we have currently with planning Kickstarter and everything else. So that, you know, even if you want to do it now, we don't need it anyway, because shipping is towards the end. So yeah. Right, let's talk a little bit about Deus Lab. So Deus Lab currently sits at 731717 followers, very good number, and we haven't shown even pre-page yet. The pre-page, then yeah, the pre-page is coming. I will explain you in a second why it's so it takes so long time to actually make the pre-page. Now let me just explain to you, and the link is in the description. So if you haven't signed up for the notify me on launch, please do so. The link is in the description. I think Camille added the link, so if not, well, it should be. So one of the questions which keeps coming back about is, you know, you have been posting this for a month. Is there an actual start date? Let me just take you a little bit through it, why it's not yet out there and why we haven't showed it. It's because of the sheer amount of the miniatures we want to give away, and on top of that, the sheer amount of work we have to actually do to show you what you're actually getting for your dollar, right? So this is only a small example of what we plan to do. To show 100 miniatures in basic pledge, it's actually 99 miniatures plus all the stretch goals. It is extremely long list. So we needed to find some solution for that. And one of the solutions was actually create a separate gallery. When you click on the Kickstarter, it takes you to the other page. And on that other page, you will be able to see all the, you know, great gallery of the miniatures, things like that. But it's not the best way, because, you know, then you have to click it back and go back and forth, and so on, so on, so on. So what we come up with this idea, and we've been investigating how quick and fast we can do and make sure it doesn't break your internet connection, is to create animated GIF. And that animated GIF will show you basically the number of potential assembly for the multi possible miniatures, right? So you can see here an example of that, and you will see the number of miniatures, then potential assembly solutions for those miniatures. On those multi-possible miniatures, I will show you how much you get in. I think people don't understand how much stuff you're gonna get in those multi-possible miniatures, right? It's quite a lot. It's really quite a lot. So on that graphic here, you can see we did 4, 5, 6. That is 14, 15, 20. Here's about 30 something miniatures on the small graphic. So we'll show you a different variety of miniatures. So when we're going to be start? So what we're trying to do, we're trying to launch pre-page in March. Why? Again, why? Because we want to make sure that page looks, at least those first pledge looks good and it's easy to read, and you understand the amount of stuff we are going to offer with this Kickstarter, right? So, you know, one fact is the number of miniatures, which says 400 plus. However, every single multi-possible, assembly miniatures, they have several different variants. So yeah. So once we have that one, once we have for you pre-page, we show you the pre-page. And this is the first week. First week, we show you the first pledge level, and then we will wait for you to give us some feedback. And based on the feedback, we will adjust it, right? If you're going to say, oh, it'd be great to do this, or maybe to do that, or something like that, we will adjust. That's what we do. Running campaign is not as easy as, starting the campaign and that's it, because if we do that, we might find out ourselves we're doing something which you customers, you backers are not kind of happy about it, or with, what wanted something else. So then we always do that. We always share. We always do that, and that we need at least 5 days to analyze the comments, analyze the data we're getting from you, and then implement the feedback. Okay, so that's one of the reasons why we have to do that. So that's week 1. Second week is exactly the same. We're going to be showing you second pledge. Third week is exactly the same, the third pledge, and the final will be the fourth week when we plan to start the campaign. We'll be showing you the pledge, and then towards the end of that fourth week, we plan to start the campaign. Okay, so when we're gonna be giving you date of the campaign, when the campaign starts, once we have pre-page up plus 4 weeks roundabout. Okay, there's nothing to yeah, it's really a lot of work. When for the first time I spoke with my team, okay, in the company, I always try to do some crazy stuff, like throw some tasks on my team, and then, oh, it's going to be great because they will learn something, and it's going to be great because, they will gain experience, and that's the best way. This campaign, actually, it's one of the most difficult campaigns, and we needed to create procedures, something we didn't have to do it previously, but full several pages procedures, how to design the miniatures for multi-possible, how to design miniatures for solo possible, and things like that. Absolutely crazy. I didn't expect this one, but now we have a procedures. Everybody in the company knows exactly how to and what to do and how to follow, right, of those things. So it is very, very, very difficult. I wasn't expecting this, to be honest. Come on, it looks easy, no? It looks easy. It's not. Yeah. So that's the thing. Let me show you what I mean by the multi-posable miniature. So imagine that you're gonna get a sprue of bodies, weapons, and things like that. So that's only one example out of all of it. So you get 4 miniatures here in a set. In that set, you're gonna get 10 heads, so 5 different variants. 5 different times 2. Then you get 2-handed weapons times 4, so you can assemble in different variations. So each of those miniatures will be able to assemble with 2-handed weapons. It's either axe or that stony hammer. And then 1-handed weapons times 1. This means every single model will be able to get at least 1 sets of 1-handed weapon. Then we have a leader and shaman arms times 2. In this set, you're gonna get also this, and then 4 bodies. Now, how we deal with bodies is slightly different, because you get variant 1, and then variant 1, which is copy of variant 1. However, we have designed it, and you can see those things here, additional elements you put on a body, which increase the number of variety, and then basically breaks this copy-paste approach, okay, design-wise. So that's what you're gonna get, and then following you get exactly the same for the mirror. So you got a mirror and a mirror with something extra. Okay, so from basically 2 designs, we make 4 different individual designs with additional elements, and so on, so on, so on. If you multiply that one by number of different components, you're gonna get it. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Yeah, this is troll. I think this is troll. This is one of the trolls. We have orcs, but we have classic orcs. And when I'm talking about a classic, it's basically the pig-looking orcs, and they're also gonna be multi-posable, and they have one of the heroes. So in the demo pack, if you have received demo pack, there's one of them as a big boss available already, which is the huge 50mm miniature. Okay, so that's what you're getting. And this is what we're trying to show on the Kickstarter page, and this is what we're trying to. This message is so difficult to show there, to explain that. Look, this is not just like copy-paste miniatures like you get from any other Kickstarters. This is basically gonna give you a lot of options to assemble your miniatures, so multi-part miniatures. You know. Righty. Oh yeah, I need to show you this. This is one of the graphics we made, and I hope this is completely clear to you. It took a little bit of time to actually get this one, and I hope you can understand. So this is what we plan to do. We plan to use WizKit scale, right? We're gonna give you Reaper miniatures cost. So I think even cheaper, because Reaper miniatures in the last campaign, they went above $1 per miniature. We still gonna be sticking $1 per miniature. Doesn't matter the size of the miniature, right? So you have to bear this one in mind. We will have some dragons as well as a stretch goals, and they're gonna be worth $1. No, well, not worth, but basically counted as a $1 miniature as well. Huge dragons, right? So, and the quality of the product. This is the plastic injection miniature which we make nowadays. There is level up. I can see it quite clearly. There's level up compared to previous miniatures. We're still on the learning curve. Obviously, the learning curve is like that. We just on the top of that one, but it's much better. It's much better than not much better, but it's a little bit better than the previous miniatures we made in the plastic. But to be honest, they are in pair with GW miniatures in terms of quality, right? So it's the same material. The sculpting wise is almost the same. The Games Workshop is much better in terms of design miniatures because they have so many years of experience, and they have, let's say, time to spend on designing and going back and forth with design. This is something we don't have it. Maybe at some point we're going to be able to do so, like we will spend much more time on a single design and go back and forth between the sculptor, designer, and engineering team. But at this stage we don't have that, privilege. And one of the reasons why GW is, well, we do those things, don't get me wrong, but not to the level as GW, right? But you never know. Maybe at some point we'll be able to, slow down, let's say, and slow down and get ourselves into a position where we spend much more time on those things. Yeah. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. So, and this counts as a one creature or 400 plus, or I did misunderstand. No, it all depends. The dragon is one creature, right? So if we say multiple, if you get, let me just go back up quickly to this presentation. So if we say here, for instance, you get 4 crystal draconoids, right? 4 of them, you get 4 miniatures. So you're gonna get a sprue which allows you to assemble 4 miniatures with different variants, right? With different variants, you can use either two-handed weapons or some crystal weapons or different heads. What we try to do is to give you at least 2 variants of assembly per miniature. So, but it still counts only as a 4, right? But assembly, you have 8 or 16 or, yeah, okay? But it's still gonna count as a 4 miniatures. We count miniature to miniature, right? Okay? So, yeah. Okay, I hope that clears. Yeah, we're on here. So scale, we will adjust the scale accordingly to the WizKits, Reaper miniatures in terms of cost, maybe a little bit better quality you're gonna get from GW. So all of those things will be combined into Dungeons lasers. That's what you're gonna get. That's what you're gonna get. So it's gonna be difficult. It's gonna be difficult to say that is not a good deal. On that, you remember I was on a trade show. You'll be surprised how many people came around, big boys, and say, guys, you're trending to be next WizKits in terms of miniatures on the market. So I think we have all the tools. There is also a factor of time and expansion, which, but as a company, I believe we go in the good direction. And I was hearing that from the people I wouldn't normally hear that. So yeah, from even competition, like Big Boys competition came to our stand in Germany. It was in fact the best trade show I was in, only because there's so many interaction with the competition and so much interaction with the other guys from the industry, and they always keep give us this and that and that. But the feeling and the understanding and from what was like, guys, you're really gonna be next WizKids at some point in terms of miniatures. And that's the point. What Archon wants to be, we want to be one-stop RPG shop, basically. So not only to make a great miniatures, the quality of Games Workshop, but with the cost of Reaper for RPG, so affordable, but also make terrain, also make all those things which are needed for RPG. Yeah. Okay, that was my thingy. Right. So there's other things to tell you about the Deus Lair. The Deus Lair itself, we have idea about getting some RPG classic miniatures as well in that campaign. So you're not only going to get like a normal our own 100% content design, things like that. You're also going to get some our interpretation of classic miniatures, right? So the Ober. That's the size of the Ober we plan to do, so it's going to be quite large miniature. Obviously, not miniature. Well, that character is large, but we're thinking about also adding full family of them. Why not? I'm not sure about all those arrows on the back and the spikes and everything else. I don't think they're necessary there for the miniature, but yeah, in terms of that is there. Bulbo is coming back. Bulbo is coming back. He's making back as a Lord Bullbolder. Right, so you're gonna get a Bulbo as well. If you remember, in one of the first dungeon lasers, we also had the Bulbo looking kind of like this approach, but it was much more less organic. It was much more mechanical. But Bulbo is coming back in his own format, much more, classic. We plan to do a few or one or two or few mimics, so that is also coming back. What we have here, we also have a Basilisk. So that's our interpretation of Basilisk against the scale. The him, that's the Cthulhu, right? You ask for the Cthulhu. Here we have. What else? Oh, this is good comment. That compression is not quite ideal. I might, yes. Painted, unpainted. The idea for that picture is to show you what the best we are taking from each of them, right? So from WizKids, we're gonna be taking just the scale. From just to match the scale of miniatures, right? So from Reaper, we will definitely go into making sure the cost is exactly the same, and in the quality, you get the quality from GW. Now, I do understand painted, not painted. We make WizKids is also making unpainted miniatures, unassembled miniatures, and we could potentially use one of those miniatures and assemble that. Maybe we'll change that one. Maybe you're right. Maybe we shouldn't show the painted one. Maybe that's what we change. I will look into this one. But this is what we have internally here, so we use what we have. But I have also spruce, which I received few weeks ago. We can look into this one as well. Okay, that is correct. So 400 miniatures, RPG bestiary, and a campaign. So all those things you will find in the bestiary. What else we're looking at? Purple worm. I've showed you that one last time as a concept. I'm happy to show you as a miniature. I think that base is 25. Correct me, guys, if I'm wrong, but I think this 25 millimeter base. So if I'm correct, this is about 70 millimeter tall model, something like this. This is gonna be cool to find, right? I hope it's not 50 millimeter base. If it's 50 millimeter base, it's gonna be size of Tarask. So I don't think it's gonna be that big. Please, no. And anyway, that is coming. And yeah, some jelly. This time around we have something different, but I like this idea very. So we also need to some clear plastic models, right? So it's a 50mm base. Jesus Christ, guys. That's gonna be that big. That. Or maybe even bigger. No. No. Okay. So I told you we're crazy. And yeah, it's gonna be part of the Kickstarter, so yeah, maybe let's look into this. I think it's gonna be all of the slides I've got prepared for you today. Right, so that's interesting. We will look into this one. At the moment it's 50mm base, so if you can imagine, this is 50, so that's 50, 100, 100 and, well, 140, 135, something like that. So quite large. Right, let me go through some questions. Let's check what we have here. All right. Yeah, that's correct. So it's gonna be 50-meter bases for the other boys. Now we have also designed some dragons. We have actually not only designed, we have sculpted dragons. I'm not quite sure whether I showed you the last time, but they're gonna be available as well as stretch goals. We plan to add them as let's call them super stretch goals, so every 5,000 or something like that. We will see how the campaign goes anyway, but you're also going to be able to get those dragons, so it's give you a chance to expand them, expand the your portfolio of dragons or your shelf. And we have 2 dragons currently designed. One is a mimic dragon, and one is kind of rat dragon, I would say. Correct me if I'm wrong, or wolf dragon, something like that, which I really like it. I really like the model, Machi did extremely good job on it. Same like Mimic is cool. So those things. From the large other things, we do have some plans for other stuff. So most of the miniatures I show you here, the specific one gonna be large ones as well. So not only small 28, 32mm miniatures, but also the big bosses you have to fight off. Okay. What else we have from the questions? Yeah, we know each other. We've been actually sending him miniatures for quite a lot of time. He's been doing quite of the reviews. I think we could do that as well. However, we have so many miniatures currently in our and we have sprues for this time around for the next Kickstarter. We should be able to do that internally as well. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's check the questions, and if there is no many questions, I will be wrapping up. It's gonna be quite short, 45 minutes. It's actually good timing. Usually it takes a little bit longer, but usually I have a little bit longer presentation for you. This time around is only that. For the next AMA, obviously you might drop the questions. For the next AMA, I'm gonna be preparing something extra for wargaming. I have something to show you. Some of the miniatures we've done. And so some future plans, basically. Wave 5, maybe second wave of sneak peeks on wave 5. We should have more to show you in our warehouse, so this means the Feast of Eternia should be in the warehouse. And also, yeah, I'm not quite sure about heroes, whether I would have enough materials to show you on heroes, because obviously, as I said, we getting into this very, very boring period of time where we just have to do work, and yeah, it will take at least a couple of months to have some good materials to show you. But I will have a chat with the team what exactly we can do. We committed to actually provide updates on the Kickstarter every 3 weeks, regardless of what. If there is nothing to say, we will go there and say, hey guys, we're still here around, and so on. Yeah, Mimic Dragon. There is Mimic Dragon already designed. the guys will show you, but Mimic Dragon basically, Mimic turns into 3, so it's something between the 3 and the Dragon. Okay, what's the current status on Titanomachy? The team is working on it. I played Titanomachy twice already. There are some extremely unique rules, and we are expanding team with more people. We have one more 2D designer, concept artist to join our team with huge experience in miniatures. So that will be another level up for us. And he needs to get designs done. I mean, I was going to show you many of those. I was going to show you some of the designs, but the other guy which we contracted to do so, he didn't deliver at all. Shame. That's one of the reasons why we never really count on external freelancers, because they miss and hit, let's say, and usually we're just getting people full-time, and then that's the only way to make sure that you get stuff kind of on time and delivered. So at this stage we're gonna have to do it several new concepts. We talk about this one a lot. We talked just a couple of weeks last week about it, how to incorporate all the idea. Jacek wrote the basic word building document, so we know what we want. We know which factions, are going to be available. So, and it's going to be allocated in our own universe. So as you might know, we've been building this universe for some time now, and this is what I'm saying about the wargaming for the next week. For the next AMA, I will have something prepared for you to show. So the mechanic is interesting. We initially wanted to use rulers for the movement, things like that. You know what, I don't know whether this is with me, but I'm a hardcore wargamer, but I start hating rulers. I just like hexes. I don't know what's going on. Maybe this is age related or something like that. But I don't know. It feels better. It feels better. You're better under control when you play on hexes. And for some reason, it works definitely with Battleground, which I'm quite happy about it. The initial Battleground was the measuring sticks, like a proper measuring sticks for movement, and I hate it. And I hate it because when we played the game was like, you know, the worst scenario is basically playing with somebody who wants to win, and he will be just basically using kind of, I know half inch is not the half inch. Come on, yeah, I got it, you know. I hate that in the wargaming. Absolutely hate this one. So I really like when the rules are rules and where everything is clear, and even you cannot make mistake by accidentally, because it sometimes happens, right? Or if you shift. I'm clumsy. I'm extremely clumsy. Sometimes when I move my miniatures, I drop my miniatures. Okay, yes, we do have. Yes, there are rulers. Yes, do you need them? Not really. If you now have a look how the rulers are designed, have a look at distances you measure. You could potentially just count the hexes, right? It's only the other ruler is only to speed up the process of measurement, because you cannot go, it's almost there, right? The rulers are designed in a way, and I was sitting on that one many hours just to make sure the hex size is enough and the rulers are enough in order to either the rule goes to maximum half of the hex, or it goes equally to the hex, right? So that was the whole idea. So you cannot get it wrong, basically, with the rule. But that speeds up the process of actually measuring the distance, nothing else. You could chuck them away and just count the hexes. It would be the same, basically. So yes, we do have, but they using of purpose of speeding up the game instead of being basically replacement. So yeah, that's only one thing. I have seen it. I know the guys anyway. I don't know. Because they basically piggybacking a lot on 40k, like piggybacking on 40k. The thing is, I don't found, and I keep saying the same stuff, but I don't found PVC miniatures or pre-assembled miniatures in wargaming any good? And hear me out. You need options for your miniatures. You need different equipment for your miniatures. You need all those things which GW used to make, in my opinion, good, but I stopped doing that. You need assembly of your miniatures. You need basically plastic injection instead of PVC. There was one company which tried PVC, and I was mentioning this one in a few lives ago, PVC for miniatures for Star Wars, and wasn't working. And the second edition of Star Wars, if you open the box now, what you see sprues. And they haven't done sprues just for the sake of making sprues. It's basically, this is how the market is, right? So this is how the market is. Whether it's gonna be anything big, I don't know. They haven't delivered the first project yet, so let's wait for that one. And then we can judge by, by the content. Whether the quality of the sculpt is good, I like it, some of them. Some of other things is just telling me too much 40k, like literally they made chaos, like almost one-to-one. I do understand Dave from Mini Wargaming, he's a big fan of those things, so that's one of the reasons, but making wargame around let's copy GW never work, because you're gonna fight, you're gonna go battling against the Games Workshop. Come on. This is the battle you cannot win. Yeah. Yeah, the hexes is just, I read the article a long time ago about all the designing of the wargames, and it was from 90s, and one of the reasons why this mean GW and other companies went for the rules was that they wanted to play on a large era, right? On a large, yeah. So distances you have to always measure with the measuring stick, right? Movement not really. I mean, I cannot imagine that you're gonna play on a 48 by 72 inches table and then you're just gonna count 67 hexes distance or whatever, 24. That's impossible, right? You need to have a measuring stick just to measure quickly. For the movement is a different story. But I read that article. In that article, they say quite clearly that one of the reasons why they combine movement and distance just in the measuring is because of the cost of doing those playing grounds, right? And they wanted people to actually build the terrain, and everything needed to look like on the pictures, spot on, great, and things like that. I know that things are changing. I know. Look the success of one-page rules, right? One-page rules, if you go through the rules, they one-page rules. They're easy to understand, easy to play, right? But you can see that complexity in the wargame is not necessarily there and not needed anymore. So moving away from open table measurement stick to hexes is not the bad idea, I think. It's not a bad idea. It introduced more people actually also to the hobby, because you're still getting the aspect of the wargame, which is improved because there is no risk of misplacing your miniature, misaligning your miniature, or arguing with your enemy whether my ship moved this way or haven't placed my token or whatever. I play X-Wing a lot, really a lot, and Jesus Christ, I was into X-Wing like crazy only because I love the rules. But at the same time, I absolutely hated with those ships when I was just knocking my ships constantly, and my enemy was looking at me like my enemy player, looking, oh Jesus, he tried to cheat or something. Really, no, I'm just a clumsy person. And then putting it back in a spot where it was. You never do that. You're never gonna be able to do that. And then moving your ships and seeing that I move my ship now this way. And now he's in angle, and then thinking maybe I just cheated now, because if I wasn't knocking my model and I wasn't putting model back in a position where it should be, maybe I wouldn't have, and whatever. This is just crazy. So for me personally, it's something about the movement which the ruler is not there yet. Yes, and there is other problem with also hexes about the complexity of layers. So if we add an additional layer like a building, so how you move on that building, we also required hexes and things like that. But we did that in He-Man. You got a platform, you can go on a platform, and it's basically perfectly aligned with the bottom hexes. So something I spent time on it actually designing in CAD in order to work. Yeah. Thank you, Shimon, for your honest question. The prototype for Moto B felt really bad. It was because it was prototype. It's a normal way, right? So all the stages of designing from alpha, beta, prototype needs to be taken in consideration, and the way we design, at least the game changed a lot. So Jacek is the main designer. Myself and Michał, we spend a lot of time playing with him this game and throwing and eliminating many things which we didn't agree with, and keep changing based on what we feel and what we think was the best, in my opinion. In my opinion, so it works. Even the hexes. Imagine or not, but the hexes, introduction of the hexes was actually last call. We had 2 weeks to close, 2 weeks, literally 2 weeks to close, closing date for the game to be, manufactured. Like, okay, that's it. We're closing the project. We cannot do anything else. And just 2 weeks before, I asked me how I designed this map, hexes map, and all the terrain stuff like that. And I printed terrain with no detail on it. I mean, I've got the pictures somewhere. I will show you next time. It was no detail. It was just flat and things like that. And we just printed on a white paper, massive one, on our plotter in the factory, massive map, X map, and we play on that one. And all of a sudden, it was like, it works. It basically works much better. So yeah, it was last call, and sometimes those changes on the last call are good. Okay. So a part of the things which we the next campaign when we're going to start will include some of those things, actually most of the things from the previous campaign, so we'll be able to buy them from the next campaign as well, as we call them rapid shipping, so we'll be able to buy them from the rapid shipping. I think there's lots of reviews coming up anyway on the internet from those things, so I hope you if you haven't back encounters, you'll be able. And this rapid shipping, so once we finish, there's a 1 month later we will open the pledge manager or something like that, and then shipping will start almost immediately. That's the one thing. But in terms of getting this one into retail, I think towards the end of the year. So once we deliver all the rapid shipping, then we may think about putting into retail. In general, we're not sending to retail stuff which we still backers haven't got it. Yeah, so we still serve backers, and then I agree. Yep. Okay. So I wish you have a nice weekend. I will see you in 2 weeks' time when I will have a little bit more materials for you. Please join our Discord, please join the channel, please like, subscribe, and all those things. I promise we'll never put any adverts except of those ones. Product placement is only Archon product placement, and so on. And what else? Drop the questions on Discord, and I will prepare answers for the next couple of weeks. So again, have a nice weekend. Thank you for dialing in, and we'll see each other in the